Good morning. Welcome to Guna Matters once again this morning. I just want to give a bit of a roundup on my frustrations over the weekend with regards to the PGMOL officials. The referees over the weekend, what dismal decisions has gone. Let's start with the day of the first game of the day, Newcastle versus Manchester City. There's so many things that you can say about the referees, and yes, they do get things correct, and they do get a lot of things wrong. The one thing that I can say is that where they're consistent is when they get all the things wrong consistently, and that for me is it's such a ball ache, if I may. So yeah, Newcastle, Manchester City. I don't think the first goal or the first penalty shout for Newcastle is a penalty. However, it probably would have given on any day. So I'm still on the fence on that. I wouldn't have probably been upset if it wasn't given. Pardon me, but the second shout for Kyle Walker tackle on what's the Brazilian's name? The lengthy number 7. I can't come to his name now. Joelinton. That to me seems more of a penalty because Kyle Walker is not playing the ball. He's trying to stop the player, and he obviously gives the foul away. So I think if you look at it on any other place on the field, you'll probably give that foul, but not in the box. The intention for Edison coming out to play the ball, I think that is the reason why the referee is obviously giving that penalty. And of course, Doku challenging on Gordon. The last couple of seconds of the game, that's a foul. Doesn't give it. The fact that the City players, after a decision that's gone against them, they run to the referee, and I mean Diaz in itself, he ran to the referee, and they sort of approached the referee, and I don't remember a few seasons ago, you couldn't do that, and then only the captain, and even now the captains are still I've got my laptop on my lap, where it's supposed to be according to a laptop. Nonetheless, only the captains obviously have to approach the referee. But I mean, if you've seen it in most of the City's games, a lot of their players, other than the captain, runs to the referee and approach him, and then they sort of gang up on him, and they get away unscathed. So to me, the referees are so scared to really book City players. There's so many things that has gone wrong this weekend. Then I look at the Arsenal versus Leicester game. Arsenal were very poor in the second half. However, they were very good in the first half, and there were opportunities missed and saves made by the goalkeeper, and big up on him. However, there is also a couple of unnecessary decisions that the referee missed. Firstly, Oliver Skip got a yellow card for pulling on Martinelli, fouling. He didn't do that for Saliba. I mean, giving that pull on Jamie Vardy could have been easily not a yellow card, but a foul. And then I think that the first goal for Arsenal doesn't happen if the referee gives that foul in that moment. So from there, Saliba pull on Vardy. The ball gets distributed to the right to Timber. Timber obviously gives to Saka. Saka back to Timber, and Timber assists the goal for Martinelli. that is like just a couple of seconds after that pull on Jamie Vardy. And for me, that is a wrong decision. He must give the foul, and he needs to be consistent in doing that, because he gave a foul to Oliver Scott for, and this is maybe a different scenario of giving a yellow card for a counter attack on Martinelli. So he stops Martinelli pulling him, and obviously he gets a yellow card for that, which is the correct decision. But it doesn't give a foul to Saliba, or rather to Jamie Vardy, when Saliba's sort of tugging on Jamie Vardy. It's a soft foul, but it's a foul, however. So there in itself is inconsistent on the standards of the refereeing. He gives Calafiori a yellow card, which is now, it's fair that that's deemed a yellow card on that tackle. And then later in the game, second half, both Calafiori and Oliver Skip escapes to a second yellow card. They should get yellow cards for those two fouls. And I'm gonna give you a scenario on this. Here's the two tackles on Martinelli from Oliver Skip. That to me, I think the top one there is the late tackle in the second half, where he didn't give that second yellow card there. And on Calafiori on the right hand side top, that's the first card that he gets. And then of course the second card he should get is where that player runs at him and he sticks out the leg. That's definitely a yellow card, because he's stopping the play. There is scenarios where people saying that the direction of the ball, he didn't go directly to the box, he went to the sideline, therefore the referee didn't give the yellow card. That is BS, man. He stops the play, he needs to get a yellow card, because any other day he gets a yellow card for that. He has to be sent off in that. Arsenal, to me, I love my team, I love everything about it, but I want to call out the referees here, and I don't want to be biased, because even if it is in favor of my team, but if it is a correct decision that has to go for that player, even if it's an Arsenal player, you have to make the decision. So Calafiori is very lucky here. He should get a yellow card. He should get a second yellow card for that, and he should be off. Arsenal 10-man. They need to really look at the officiating, the standard of it, and of course the standard of how they consistently sort of practice their officiating. I mean, I'm not the Arsenal fan by saying this currently. I'm a football fan by saying this, and it is against the team that I am I'm supporting. I'm a very good fan. I'm an old fan. I'm a huge fan of Arsenal, but Calafiori should get a second yellow card, and he has to be off there. That obviously will change the game, but at the same time, I think the referee has been poor in this game. He had to send Calafiori off, and he had to send Oliver Skip off. He had to give a foul to Jamie Vardy before we first scored our first goal. So that in itself, it is poor refereeing for me. The standard of the refereeing in the PGMOL, it's pathetic. It's not looked at, or rather, may put it this way, it doesn't get the correct challenges from the mainstream media. We as fan-based channels, YouTube channels, we have to make these calls, and we have to obviously say that the refereeing of the Premier League is so pure. Not just Premier League. I mean, I haven't seen other leagues this weekend, but in most cases, the Premier League is putrid. The refereeing at the standard of it is pathetic. It is abomination. It has to change. It has to really change. So keep leave your thoughts in the comment section, whether you look at it later. I'm going to obviously share this again later as a premiere, but you have to be consistent, no matter who the team are. The team in this case is Arsenal, that's getting away with a second yellow card, and you can argue that Oliver Skip should have gotten a second yellow card. That for me, it is a pure mistake from Sam Barrett. He should have gotten those decisions right. You have to give Calafiori a red card, a second yellow card, and give him a red card, because he is fouling the play, stopping the play. He is preventing the player from continuing his counter attack. He sticks out a foot, trying to make it like he's pulling it back. No, that is a foul. So he has to take the second yellow, and the same obviously for Oliver Skip. So I'm gutted by the decision of the referee. Yes, Arsenal went and go win the game 4-2, but poor refereeing for me. I think it should have been it should have really been 10 men on each for the day. That is poor refereeing. And then the other scenario for me is, again, the reverse of a decision. This doesn't deem a red card for Bruno Fernandes. He surely really should get a yellow card for this, because if you look at the two various angles, they're on the left-hand side corner. Clearly, he doesn't go in with studs. Yes, he's high. Yes, it's stopping the attack, but this is purely just a yellow card. And Chris Kavanagh has really made himself the center of attraction again today, yesterday in that big game at Old Trafford. He was too quick to pull out the red card. He didn't look at it, and I think VAR should send him, say, I think you are wrong in this instance. He's side-footed. In actual fact, if you look at the footage, he really catch Maddison with his right ankle, outside ankle. I mean, if you look at where his leg is, yes, he's obviously slipped, and then he tries to stop Maddison. For me, that is a yellow card. It shouldn't be red. And I think the referee is making himself a hero in this instance to the Spurs fans, and should really get a yellow card there. Even though it was 1-0 at the time, Spurs were obviously more dominant in the game. United were very poor in that game, but even poorer after 10 men. But for me, that is a stupid red card. It shouldn't be a red. It can only be a yellow. By the way, people, like the video, share the video, put on your notifications, and of course, give it a subscribe as well. So for me, Chris Kavanagh is the hero in this instance to the Spurs fans. It's never a red card. I think he should really go to the screen and confirm in fact, VAR should say, Chris, go to the screen, mate, and just view it for yourself again, because that shouldn't be a red. I would suggest yellow, but not red. And I think if you look at the smirk on Brendan Johnson's face there, and the other picture shows Romero, his smirk on the face, are very, very happy to see Bruno's red card. Again, poor referee. Now this guy, Chris Kavanagh, is the same referee that has sent off Declan Rice against Brighton for a second yellow card, and also just for sort of nudging the ball away. And we all know that whole story there. I don't dispute that red card, but the inconsistency of this particular ref in this game, specifically Manchester against Spurs, okay, this is the wrong decision that I've just said now about Bruno. That shouldn't happen. That should still be a yellow card in my opinion. This is the guy that sent off Declan Rice, and I want to read this, that Chris Kavanagh, who sent off Declan Rice in the Brighton game, two Manchester United players kicked the ball away during their 3-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur at Old Trafford this Sunday. Manuel Ugarte and Nusya Mazraoui both conceded fouls when Spurs tried to take free kick in the first half. They kicked the ball on both occasions, but not cautioned by the referee. And the referee is questioned. In question was Chris Kavanagh, the same guy who sent Declan Rice off in the Arsenal 1-1 draw to Brighton last month. Joe Feldman was preparing to take a free kick when Rice kicked the ball away, although it seems minor on paper, and Kavanagh sent him off at the time. But he failed to do the same with Manuel Ugarte and Nusya Mazraoui. I understand the magnitude of that game even yesterday when I watched it. But at the same time, you need to look at, irrespective whether there's a red card or not, you need to be consistent in the letter of the law, as you put it. The letter of the law. Now, and this is where a lot of rival fans get in the fight and the conversation, whereas they say, Arsenal, you're crying out over spilled milk. It's not about crying over spilled milk. It's about being the same, in the same argument, in the same breath. You need to look at, why are these things said in the mainstream media when it happens to Arsenal, but when it happens to anybody else, then the letter of the law is not part of the conversation, if as it were, because Arsenal in this instance cried about Rice being sent off for a second yellow card by kicking the ball away. The same in the City game, where they argued that Trossard kicked the ball away, got a second yellow card. Doku in that game and Pedro in the other game, they all kicked the ball away. Liverpool's game against Nottingham Forest, that guy, Soboslai, he kicked the ball away across the field. He was already in a yellow card, and that is delaying of the restart. So in this game yesterday, Manchester United against Spurs, two of their players fouled a Spurs player in different instances, and before Spurs could restart the game, they kicked the ball away and nothing happened to them. So I'm not saying it isn't a conspiracy against Arsenal. It is a damn well unlawful decision by the referees, especially this particular referee, Chris Kavanagh, that has refereed that game. He shouldn't have given a red card to Bruno Fernandes. He should only give a yellow card, but he also failed to give a yellow card to Manuel Ugarte and Mazraoui for kicking the ball away. So that in itself is the inconsistency of certain referees, and the standard of the PGMOL officials is poor. It is a sin. It is an abomination. It's illegal. If you look at it from a perspective of a fan, not just an Arsenal fan, not just a Man United or Liverpool or Man City fan, as a football fan, that is wrong. It is stone right wrong. You don't do that. You are spoiling the game. You're killing the game of football. You should give the yellow card to both Mazraoui and to Ugarte for kicking the ball away after a foul, but you don't give a yellow card to Bruno for fouling the player. It's not a red card. It's not dangerous play. As you could see on the footage there, he's right outside of his right ankle that's caught. It's catching James Maddison. It's not studs. It's not. Yes, he's stopping the player from making the attack, but it is purely at least a yellow card. That can never be a red card. So Chris Kavanagh and Sam Barrott, the two referees in question, were very, very poor this weekend. And also the referee against in the game from Manchester United, Newcastle versus Man City. Poor decisions. You give a penalty where it shouldn't be given. He doesn't give a penalty where it should be given. He gives fouls to certain players and not fouls to others. He's allowing City players to approach him out of anger, out of dissent. So he should really look at the standard of the PGMOL officials, and it has to be said that something needs to be done about it. You can't week in, week out have decisions go against teams and changes the whole dynamic of their seasons. So I believe there's something wrong in the refereeing. There's something wrong in the PGMOL. There is so many things wrong in day-to-day referees of the Premier League. Then they are deemed the best referees in Europe. It can't be. It can't be. There must be better. There must be somebody that is not biased. There must be somebody that is not looking at certain clubs or certain players. There must be somebody that is neutral in this whole PGMOL officials. So you need to look at it and really start be consistent and make the right decisions. And if you want to put in the argument and of the letter of the law, then you have to be consistent in practicing the letter of the law, because you can't just do it when you think it should be done, and when it should be done, and other times then you don't do it. So therefore, the Arsenal fans are saying the things that are saying, and I don't think it is a conspiracy against Arsenal. It is purely a lack of respect for the law, really, and a lack of consistency to practice the letter of the law. It is so justified and it's easy to start saying it is the referee has made a decision to the letter of the law, but in other instances he doesn't do that same thing. He doesn't make decisions to the letter of the law, and then he becomes subjective as to when he wants to practice the law, the rules and the regulations of the football game. So you need to understand that there is so much frustration from a fan's perspective into how these people do make these decisions, especially in games where it changed the complete magnitude of the game, the complete dynamic of the season for that team, and of course the player. And if you look at it as players that are key players in certain teams that doesn't get decisions against them, and it's in certain other teams, i.e. Man United, i.e. Arsenal, i.e. Brentford, i.e. Fulham, that key players get decisions against them to the letter of the law. So you need to stick to the justification of making decisions to the letter of the law, but you have to be consistent in every single game, because if you don't give a yellow card for kicking a ball away in certain games and you do it in other games, then where is the consistency to practice the letter of the law? You have to be consistent. In this case, these two referees have been the center, have come to the center stage of this weekend. Give a red card to Bruno Fernandes, where it should only be a yellow card, and give penalties away where it shouldn't be. Doesn't give red cards to Calafiori and Oliver Skip, where they should have gotten two yellow cards. Both of those players should have gotten 2 yellow cards in the Arsenal versus Leicester game. Calafiori was lucky to be on the pitch. So was Oliver Skip to be lucky on the pitch. Both of them should have gotten second yellow cards, and both of them should have be sent off. He should have given a foul to Vardy before Arsenal first goal against Liber, because there was clearly a pull. He shouldn't let that goal stand. VAR should get involved there. So tell the referee Scott, go back to the foul on Vardy and disallow the goal. That is it, because Arsenal got away with a goal there. They got away with that foul, and they also got away with a player not being sent off for the third time in this season. So that should really be a second yellow card for Calafiori, and that should be a second yellow card for Oliver Skip. Both players are very, 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 very lucky. But yeah, that is unfortunate for these two referees. They are very poor. They made a center stage in my mind again this weekend, and so poor decisions against these in these teams. But yeah, have your say, have your comment in the section below, and also please like, share, subscribe to Guno Matters, and also put on a notification that when they're live, you can get good content. And tonight at 7:30 UK time, Guno Matters will be live again. I won't obviously be hosting. It will be a lady, two ladies running the show, and then there will also be a panel whereby they can unpack the weekend's games. But for me, this is it. The PGMOL standards are poor. The referees need to really be investigated in how they perceive to practice the law in the game. They really have to be looked at, so that we can have football that are not killed by these referees. The decisions that are made, we need to really be watching football with no biasness against referees and officials. VAR are just accepting the fact that the referee on the pitch is making a decision and they're not challenging it. That should not. Why is VAR there then? Then they should not be a part of the game, because if the referee on the pitch making a decision with a straight red card or a penalty whereby they can get involved with, because that is really why they are there. If a penalty is awarded, then VAR needs to say, "Hey, mate, I think you've made a wrong decision. Go to the screen," because the penalty that they awarded against Man City for Anthony Gordon, to me, is not a penalty. But the fact that he is trying to play the game, or rather play the ball, the referee deemed it to be a penalty. The foul from Kyle Walker on Jolinton, to me, is more of a penalty, because Kyle Walker is not playing the ball at all. He's stopping the player and fouling the player in the box. Anywhere on the field, he gets the foul. But why is not giving the opportunity to go to the monitor and go make a decision for himself and look at it as a VAR looking at it? For me, that in itself is wrong. Again, just to recap on the Bruno Fernandes red card, it's not a red card, it is a yellow card for me. And of course, both Arsenal and Leicester City are lucky to have 11 players finishing that game. They should have both have red cards in that game. But yeah, for me, that is it. I think I've given my opinion about the weekend's poor refereeing and officiating on certain games. The refereeing are making center stage again, and which is not part of the football that we want to see as fans. But yeah, thank you for watching. The one person that are there, I think there was another one person here. So yeah, all the best to you guys, and yeah, subscribe to Guno Matters, like and share. Cheers and enjoy your day. Be blessed. Bye.